Okay, so it seems like we have another update on the whole Zentreya situation, with now a lot of people getting involved, a lot of VTubers speaking out, and also stuff like managers and things getting involved in this entire situation. Now, if you don't know, recently there's been some kind of controversy, I guess, over on Twitter and Blue Sky, essentially over a new model, which Zentreya debuted the other day, which looks absolutely amazing, and well, some people were trying to say that it was too similar to like a World War II Germany kind of uniform, which is absolutely crazy. And we've made multiple videos talking about this and going into detail as to what people are saying and some of the fallout that's been going on. So if you want to go watch that, then I definitely recommend doing it because it gives you extra kind of context on what is really going on here and yeah, what has actually gone down over on Twitter. Now, it seems like there's been some more kind of replies and stuff. Obviously we went through Zentreya saying that she's pretty much done and saying that, she was going to either try to change the model or scrap it entirely, which again, is probably the best course of action as they have started going after her friends and a lot of people associated with her due to the fact of her model, which I think is absolutely crazy. And as I said, it doesn't make you any better of a person if you are going after and harassing her friends over a model, right? I think it's crazy that people even go that far. And yeah, Zen has also followed up a little bit later saying, God, I wish how we could just all forget, stop fighting just for a moment, all have a drink, remember that we're all human, living in this planet for only so long, which yeah, obviously a lot of people have been saying too many miserable twats want to see others as miserable as them, and yeah, I do think that is entirely true. But there's been more people as well, including like Mujin as well, commenting on this, saying, Zentreya, I don't know if it's your success, growth, or just your TTS voice, but something about you made a group of people out there decide that their goal is to make you miserable, and somehow you still haven't realized that. If you keep bending the knee, this will never end. One of the hardest things to do in life is to realize that not all feedback is equal. It can be malicious, mean-spirited, and even riddled with envy. You have to make that differentiation. Otherwise, you'll be miserable forever. Snap out of it. Which, again, I do think Mujin is, kind of right there. Obviously, you should never really bend the knee to these people, and because again, as I said, if you give them an inch, they will take a mile and continue to harass you even further until you are literally the perfect version of what they want you to be, rather than just ignoring them, continuing what you're doing, and just waiting until they leave you alone, and just, it just all kind of resolves itself, right? And I do think Zen has tried a little bit, obviously, as we've seen with the clips, by saying all of this stuff is stupid and kind of pushing back against it. Again, I don't think Zen has really, apologized fully for it or anything like that, which obviously that's totally correct, right? She shouldn't have to apologize over all of this kind of stuff. But again, she's now changing the model or even considering scrapping it, which I think is exactly what these people want. And obviously it will then drive them to harass her even further in the future whenever she does more stuff that they don't like. Because I'm not saying that Zen is going to go out and do something terrible or whatever that deserves to be kind of rectified. It could literally be the smallest thing ever that some people get annoyed over, and then they will try to harass her over that too, and it will continue on and on and on, because they know that if they do it enough and if they go after her friends and things, they will obviously get a result out of it, because as we've seen today or recently, things are going to be changing with that model, which obviously is super disappointing. And yeah, it would be nice if maybe she could stick to it a little bit more, and maybe stick to obviously fighting back against, not fighting back against, you get what I mean, but like not bending the knee essentially to a lot of this kind of stuff, because again, a lot of time in content creation, people don't like you, and that's okay. Sometimes they kind of have some falling out or whatever, and maybe it's over a model, maybe it's something over something completely different, like your personality or whatever. Again, that's fine. You don't need everybody to like you 24/7. And I think that, sometimes there will be people out there who, don't deserve any time or any kind of effort to change any of this stuff, because again, they are being just stupid, right? You got people like OBKTCat as well, saying we love Zentreya in this house, which again is great to see that there is more VTubers actually coming out and supporting Zen, because again, as I said in the previous video, VTuber culture sometimes, whenever people are getting like, harassed or, attacked online, a lot of people tend to stay quiet and not really speak up or anything, or tend to not really voice any support or whatever for a particular friend or VTuber, even if they are really close friends or whatever in the space. And it's good to see that people like OBKTK and more actually, you know, going out and supporting Zen, you know, actually publicly, and making tweets about it, because again, it does show that there is a lot of people that are on our side. And the same goes for this one post here, which was which we checked yesterday, although it's not loading. There we go. We got people like Rev, we got Kyosha, we got Lily Pichu as well, saying I showed Michael your model, and he squinted and said that just looks like a dog evil big booby military lady. Which again, it's great because you got big creators like Lily Pichu there who are also commenting on this and literally, you know, fighting back against a lot of this kind of harassment that's been coming away. It is stupid that this has even been going on in the first place. And again, I didn't even know Lily actually commented on this until right now, but that is really great to see, obviously. And also you got people like Skew-chan, you got Lucius Merriweather, so many more people, you know, Spite, Milky Ways, Freem, we already covered Freem on the last video. But again, obviously some people are bringing up some other uniforms in this, and this is a reminder, whatever sorry, of what it looks like, which again is pretty crazy. But yeah, as you can tell, it isn't anything like the model that they're trying to say it is, right? And even more people have been discussing this too, including the fact of you know, Powder here, saying this is Permaban saying some people on the site throw their opinions out as fact, but having completely no idea what they're talking about or looking at. It's all performative means to justify harassment campaigns of people they don't like, or to clout farm. And obviously, as you can see here, it says Powder, or whatever her name is unapologetically having a whole SS uniform on, but nah, let's all dogpile on Zentreya instead. Now obviously, yeah, they are, you know, defending kind of Zentreya there, but also, you know, they're going after Powder, which I think is so stupid because she's wearing a Warhammer uniform. She's not wearing a uniform that they're saying it is, right? She's literally wearing a Warhammer uniform, which is, you know, I don't even know, like, you can't even play Warhammer, or I don't know what exact Warhammer game she was playing, right? But again, you can see it says Warhammer Wednesday, and yeah, she's wearing a Warhammer uniform for playing Warhammer. But they're going, oh no, it's a Nazi uniform because it looks like slightly like it. I don't, it's so weird, and obviously people are so dumb about that, because you can even see the symbols, right? Like the skull with the wings, also depicted in the Warhammer games and the Warhammer promotional stuff, is also there, right? And you know, this is how stupid people can get. They can't understand nuance whenever it comes to design and details within uniforms and stuff. And even people saying one-to-one copy, didn't take long for me to find Zentreya's earlier designs to see that it's an update of an old model that no one batted an eye on then. Windmill gangsters do not have a monopoly on peaked caps. Also, bullying by your own logic. If that is not a big deal, why harass Zentreya and her friends over it? Which again is, yeah, this is one of the conversations that went on. I think it has now been deleted. I don't know who it is by. I don't know if it was by Zen or by this person here. But, you know, this was the original tweet, as we saw. And then, yeah, this person followed up by saying, bro, it's a hat. Change it and shut up. The fact that you're being a whiny pussy over this and digging in your heels over a hat is not helping your case. And obviously Zen then claps back, and this actually goes on even longer than this thread here, which again, I'm glad that Zen is actually clapping back against this, because you know, it is so stupid. Saying you're one of the reasons why so you're one of the reasons why this is still going. When I already said the model's been changed or scrapped, or are you incapable of reading anything above a first grade level? You're illiterate. Yeah, blank. And they said, and yeah, it's totally unintentional when it's a one-to-one copyright, and your community are calling out your homophobic studs for calling out woke people and snowflakes. Again, if you get offended at someone calling someone a woke person or a snowflake, I think that is so dumb. Again, I think that people getting offended over that are so stupid. And yeah, I can't believe someone even used that as a point, that you outed yourself and you're panicking. What a way to fail. What a way to fall, sorry. And yeah, that thread continues on, and Zen actually kind of answers back to that, but I think that is one of the reasons why it is now gone. But yeah, as you can see, this was one of Zen's original designs, and it definitely takes a lot of inspiration from that design, you know, from her earlier kind of model and things like that, which I do think, you know, people just don't understand for some reason. Especially some people saying it's like a one-to-one copy, which it definitely is not true. And a lot of people saying also nobody, let alone Zen, seemed to care or ask for your opinion on Zen's updated old model. But you invited yourself to join in on the harassment campaign. Now you're suddenly upset when people invite themselves to give opinions about your own actions. Either opine or open yourself to the opinions of others, or ask people to shut up, while you yourself also walk your talk and shut up. We don't get to have the best of both worlds. And so say, yeah, you go on about grandstanding when you started that in the first place. Proceed to bloke me, thinking it proves your point. Then make the disingenuous argument that I want to screw Zen. Dude, you're such a piece of shit. That's it. It's that simple. I'm also ace, by the way. Said don't care, didn't ask, which I think is just so dumb. These people, I don't even know why, you know, they feel the need to do this. And I think I know why. I think it is, you know, they want to get this kind of attention, at least from another kind of audience, right? That are, you know, hating on Zen and potentially trying to pick up any kind of, you know, clout or any kind of followers or attention they can. And, you know, I took a look at this person's profile, the Roku person, right? They've got about 200 followers. I looked at their Twitch streams. They don't talk throughout the entire thing. They make pretty terrible content. I'm not gonna lie, right? You know, at least talk during your content and, you know, playing video games or whatever. But again, you know, they can't even do that simple thing as a content creator. So I don't even know why they're criticizing Zen whenever they can't even do their content correctly as well, which I think it was pretty funny, right? We've also got as well, yeah, Lucius Merriweather also adding a quote retweet saying, please send Zentreya some love. I think it's ridiculous that literally any black military uniform is now painted in such a light. I had similar issues with my own military uniform model in the past. Lots of European countries have styles that look like that. People are idiots, which, yeah, 100% true, 100% right. And also you got people like Beth Electric, who is Zentreya's manager, also kind of coming in with this kind of stuff, saying, if you don't know, Podge, this person, was essentially trying to go after Zen for the uniform. Here is the uniform, if you guys haven't seen it, by the way. That's what people have been getting mad over. I'm sorry I didn't show that in the first place, but again, it's been in the previous videos. Obviously, they wanted to expand on it as a professional costume designer or whatever. And yeah, Beth Electric responded to this saying, just coming on here to say that no, most of the hate is not actually from her fan base, as I don't recognize the majority of these names, as true geckos know better. I just want to be clear on that. I completely understand how it could feel that way, and you shouldn't be receiving death threats and other horrid things. And yeah, obviously Podge has been receiving some pretty horrible things as well to their way. Obviously, you know, I think that they were pretty incorrect with a lot of the stuff that they were saying, and I do think that a lot of the things that they were saying, you know, towards Zen obviously doesn't really help the case at all. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of bad actors out there who are going to send hate and things. And I think they should have known that whenever posting a public tweet on Twitter, which is obviously going to get a lot of attention. I think posting something that controversial and being like, oh, guys, why am I getting so much hate? Obviously, it's not great to be getting sent all of that stuff, right? And being sent all of those kind of threats and things through the kind of messages. But you got to kind of know it's Twitter at this point. If you do post something, you know, that could be seen as pretty controversial, you are going to get it from bad actors. It's not necessarily Zen's kind of community or anything. I think they are actually pretty positive in terms of, you know, not going after people and things like that, right? But I think there is always going to be bad actors over on Twitter who just see it and maybe aren't even involved with the community, right? And will send that kind of hate and send those kind of threats over to you. And I think that's something you've got to be prepared for whenever you do, you know, post something that could be considered quite controversial on Twitter, okay? And I think, yeah, people need to kind of get used to that fact. People saying, please don't lump her actual fan base in with those who are not. If someone is found to be a part of her fan base doing this kind of behavior, it will be addressed. So yeah, obviously they are going to go through and look through all of that as well. There's also been a lot of people as well comparing a similar design to this one, which essentially was Matara, but Matara had a pretty similar outfit to this, right? but essentially it was white instead of black and red, which obviously the black and red fits Zentreya's design more. If you don't know, she's always been the kind of black and red kind of, what do you call it, like color schemed VTuber, right? Whereas Matara, yeah, went for a more white and purpley kind of look due to her look, which I thought was also pretty crazy because people never called out Matara for that. But as soon as the colors change, people started getting annoyed over that. I thought that was pretty interesting too. So again, I don't know if that's something worth kind of discussing in the future as well, because there's been many cases of different designs that look exactly the same or have some kind of similar kind of design or whatever, and people don't bat an eye, including within video games and stuff, which a lot of people brought up, including the fact that a lot of the design was based off of Bismarck's design from Azure Lane, which obviously, yeah, is completely separate. And so many other people were bringing up the fact that, a lot of these because one of the big talking points was the hat, the kind of curved hat or the pointed hat, whatever you want to call it, right? Again, a lot of people were bringing that up, and a lot of people were also rebuttaling that by saying that essentially this has been around for ages, and this wasn't just a kind of, World War II Germany type thing, right? It is a, other kind of, militaries and other kind of navies and things that also use this kind of stuff as well. So again, I think that it is a pretty open and shut argument. I don't know why people have been, really struggling to understand the nuances behind a lot of this. But yeah, that is essentially a lot of the replies that have been coming in. There are so many more, which I might make another video covering, because again, it seems to be a ton of stuff just all flooding Twitter and Blue Sky at the moment. And it seems like Blue Sky as well have been going pretty harsh over on Zen. They've been more on the negative side. I think Twitter has been much more positive in terms of supporting Zen, as it seems like she's not exactly going through the best time at the moment, especially considering everything that's happened over the past year. And it is very, very sad to see that this is still going on, and that, this kind of, I don't know, it's just sad. It's not great to see. But yeah, that's essentially all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kazo, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of legal stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.